What's good, y'all? This is Two Tall Talks with Trey and Jay. I am Jay, and this is my boy Trey. First and foremost, I would like for you guys to take the time out, subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, make sure you hit that notification bell, and be sure to follow our Instagram at Two Tall Talks. Now, we both want to give a thank you to everyone that tuned in to our first episode, despite me rubbing my eyes and everything, all the factors that went into that first episode. I would like to say thank you guys for tuning in and watching. It meant a lot to us because it's a long time coming for us, but it's good. His eyes are good. And
Well,
hey,
technically,
let's
my
get
eyes
into
ain't good.
it.
Technically, my eyes ain't good.
Well,
I
it's
got
good
glasses.
enough to see what's going on. So the first thing that we would like to get into is to give you guys our vision. Now, the reason why we feel like that this podcast is so unique is because of both of our personalities. As time goes on, you guys will know and you guys will find out that me and him are two entirely different people. It's crazy. But we are similar in so many ways when it comes down to music, culture, and sports. So before we get into our music and our sports, we would like to take the time for us to introduce ourselves to you. I would like to first give Trey the floor, and I'm going to let him basically give you guys an overall summary of his life and his upbringing.
So, what's up, y'all? It's Trey, as y'all know. When it comes to me, my upbringing was all over the place. So, born in Staten Island, raised in Italy, moved to Maryland, and from Maryland to Tennessee. So, all over the map, traveled with my parents, graduated from Bolton, Memphis, Tennessee. From there, joined the Air Force, did 8 years, got out. I was a Navy brat too. My mom did 20 years, my dad did 4 or 5 years. So that's just a quick, rundown of what my life has consisted of. That's just a quick rundown. And as we progress, you get to know me a little bit more.
My name is Jay. I'm also known as Future 22 Jay. It's on YouTube. If you aren't already, check out that channel. I give a lot of sneaker reviews and the sneaker content and a lot of news in regards to upcoming sneaker releases. My basic upbringing was, the typical kid in the hood, from the hood. You really just, just living my normal everyday life, trying to find a purpose in life. And I think that I found it. Hopefully I found it with this content creating that I've just been joining into. And I've also been venturing off into photography as well. And hey, I've just gotta grind and see where it take me. And that's basically my full summary. I'm into sneakers. I'm into clothes and fashion.
My ass, I don't even know how to talk about myself.
Yeah, like shit, that's just basically just a quick little overview. So with that being said, Trey, I have to ask you a question. I want to know, I'm not gonna say toxic. We should say toxic. We're gonna say toxic. But basically that relationship that you had in your life that just basically took you away from yourself. Like you lost it. You was just head over heels. If you have any. I know I have.
So I done had plenty of toxic relationships. But
Fact.
the one, and I won't say I was head over heels, but it took me away from myself. And I think it was because it'd been a long time since I was in a relationship. So I was happy to be in a relationship. But you know which one I'm about to bring up.
How old were you? How old were you?
Maybe 28. It was in Memphis. I didn't work for that whole year because this is like right after I got out the military. So yeah, about 28.
Okay.
So I was traveling, going all over the place, and then landed in Memphis one year. We kicked it. We was cool, chilling, doing everything. When I was just so infatuated with the person that I wasn't realizing like the different toxic traits that not only she was portraying, but also that I was portraying as well. So it wasn't one sided. It was both. It was two sided. So it wasn't one sided. Um, but at that time, she didn't want me hanging out with none of my friends, and I would listen. Like it was just a whole bunch of it was like controlling. She told me jump. I said how high. Uh, like it was just it was a lot at that point in time, and I didn't know how to handle it because I had never been in that situation. And if anybody would tell you I'm too nice, my dad says no such thing as being too nice. It's just people that take advantage of your niceness. Didn't know how to say no, pretty much. Didn't know how to
Mm.
say no. Just letting her run all over me, bro, to the point that I missed my best friend's wedding because of it. So, and it took a whole intervention of all of them pulling up to the spot, and they from you, Rico, Key, all of y'all laid into me that night, bro. And it made me realize that this is not the type of relationship that I need to be in, want to be in at all. Not at this time at all. So, hell, that almost cost our friendship
Mm.
because that like you ain't never seen me act that way, be that way. I'm always 10 toes down for all of my friends. So, I mean, at that point in time, me and him were going through a kind of rough spot too, though. So even though that's no excuse to miss your best friend's wedding, we had, we had hit a spot where we kind of resented each other, but still no excuse, especially since I said I was going to be there. I mean, she's doing good now. She's healed from a whole bunch of stuff. I haven't talked to her in a minute, but last time I did talk to her, it seemed like she's doing okay. She's doing good now, mentally and everything. And so am I. So I know now
So she
what I
was
want.
going through. She was going. Sorry to interrupt, but she was
No, no.
going through something as well with
Yeah,
y'all. Was
yeah. So
okay.
yeah, there was a lot of stuff in the background that she was dealing with that me personally I didn't really know of because, like I said, we were just kicking it. Like it wasn't really like me getting to know her type stuff like that. We was just kicking it at that point in time. Um, I won't say feelings weren't involved because I did have feelings for her, but yeah, that's probably the most toxic one. We was arguing 24/7 about the smallest, most minute things. It was bad. It was bad emotionally for me. It was like a lot of emotional trauma from that, being called out my name. Like I've never been called out my name in any of my relationships. Belittled. Like I never like
Yeah, that
yeah,
girl was toxic as hell.
yeah. So
Okay, but that's
so what
what's
about
up.
you, brother?
Whew.
In the
Well,
wonderful life of future 22 JS.
man, whew. Well, see, this I'm kind of at a rift because the relationship that I was in, it wasn't the worst relationship. It was just I would just give it the worst relationship because of the person that I was turning into from the relationship.
Mhm.
But I was still was another relationship that I was in. And it was a bad relationship. I mean, I'm pulling up at the job, she's pulling up at my job.
Oh
It was
Lord.
yeah, no, that was crazy. So I'm not going to get into that one because that was just off of the strength of it being us being young. But the worst, I would say, the worst relationship that I've been in thus far was really my most recent relationship. I was in that relationship for 8 years, almost nine. Low key 9, but I'm just gonna say 8. And honestly, it wasn't because of the person, mostly because of the person, but it wasn't off of the strength of, we was fighting and arguing a
Yeah.
lot. It was just, I started to lose myself. I
Mhm.
was gaining weight. I had reached the highest weight point of my life with 287 pounds. I ain't never been that big in my life until then. And with that, and I kind of was getting a reflection on the relationship that I had with my child. I didn't like the fact that me and my child wasn't really that close as I want me and her to be.
Yeah.
And mostly part of that was coming from me focusing most of my time and energy into the relationship that I had. And once that came into play, and once I realized that, like, I want to do better by my baby, for my baby, that's what made me ultimately get to the point where I wanted to leave the relationship. Now, the relationship was already terrible. I mean, it was one of those things as to where I met her when I was so young. And, when you get older, you have more wants, more desires, and all of it. And that kind of faded away as the relationship progressed. So things that I was wanting from her and expecting from her, she didn't want to do it. Once it got to the point, it's only so much you can take, and it's only so long you can go when you really realize. And another thing, the last thing that really got me to that point was I realized my value and my worth. A lot of times these dudes, myself included, hell, you just described it. We lose ourselves because of the things that we want or the things that we have desires for. It doesn't come around that often.
Mhm.
So when we do find a female that's willing to move in with us or fall in love with us or things of that nature, oh, okay, yeah, I love you too. Or
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
real, like, in all honesty, as a man, it takes a lot for you to say that you love a woman.
Mhm.
But at the same time, a lot of men cannot honestly say the reason why they told that woman that they love them. Like the girl you was just with.
I ain't never
Why
said
did
I love her, but
you never said you love her?
I ain't never said I love
So you never told her you love
her.
her. Not one
Not
time.
when it comes to saying I love you, I always take my time with that. There's a deeper connection that comes with that. We weren't at that point. Like I said, we was arguing day in, day out pretty much every day.
Well, if
So yeah. I've like I said, I've only told 3 females I've ever loved them.
oh well, so not with the recent female, but with a past female.
Yeah, with a past female,
When
yeah.
you told them you love them, like what was your reason for telling them?
The first one was because of longevity, the connection. Pretty much all of them. If I feel a connection or if I feel the vibe and stuff like that, I'm going to tell you, like, hey, this is how I feel.
Hey, well, I feel it. Well, I can't remember why I said a couple of females I love.
So yeah, so
I,
I got to think through a lot of, but you know me, I'm an overthinker too. So like,
oh well, yeah,
yeah.
that's a fact,
So
bro. So, well, back to my initial point, it was just a lot of females, a lot of dudes can't really remember or justify the reason why they told their female that they love them, and
mhm,
I am one of those because she never changed. She was the same person she was when I met her. You
mhm.
see what I'm saying? So I don't know why the hell I told her I love her when I told her I loved her. Like, but longevity probably played a factor. And,
Mhm.
overall, the initial vision that I had for the relationship, I thought me and her were gonna ride it out. It's only so much you can take, brother.
Yeah, you're
So
gonna push somebody so far.
yeah, I would say that'll be my worst as far as my mental state and where it put me as a
Mhm.
man. But that other relationship, boy, whew, that was
So,
wild
question.
too.
So,
But
so to kind of put a more positive light on this conversation. So, what exactly do you look for when it comes to a partner? What's your top three qualities that a partner has to have for you to be all like, you know what, I can rock with you?
one is conversation.
Hmm.
And I'm not talking about talking on the phone all day, every day. No.
Yeah.
I mean it as far as be able to make me laugh sometimes.
Hmm.
Ask me questions. Basically, the conversations that we have, I want it to be no matter if it's serious, if it's negative, like we could be arguing,
Hmm.
just keep it at a I still respect you level for the
Hmm.
most part. And I don't like being the guy to trigger conversations all the time. Like I can't
Hmm.
stand when you ask a female what they're doing.
And you get
Oh,
two
nothing.
words.
Yeah, oh nothing. Just not doing anything. That's
Yeah.
one. Two is really just drive. Like
Hmm.
it's so many. Now I know it's not all women, but it's so many women in this world that don't have a get up and go for themselves. They
Hmm.
want to sit around or wait around till they find that husband or they get that one rapper to inbox them on Instagram to change their life.
Hmm.
It's a lot of women, and to be honest, there's a lot of women that just resort in selling their body on OnlyFans and shit. And that shows me that you don't have any drive. Now, the way I came up, now this is solely based off of my upbringing. I grew up in a single parent household, and at one point in time, my mama was working 3 jobs to feed 5 kids.
Hmm.
So it ain't nothing in this world that a woman can't do in my eyes. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Five
So
kids. Yeah,
that's
that's.
what I'm saying. So I don't like women that just want to sit and wait around. Like, get up and go get it. Like, if
Hmm.
you want to do this, go do it. What you need to do, like, what steps are you taking to get to it? Have some plan because just sitting around, just waiting and hoping on the things that I stated earlier, on top of other things, like a lot of people don't even want marriages and none of that. They just live off of other men and other women and things of that nature. And I'm not a fan of that. I'm not knocking anybody that do it. Hey, do what you gotta do.
It's just not for you.
This just not for me. Like, you gotta have some type of drive and some admiration for something, especially if you got kids. Like, have a
Yeah.
goal, bro. Don't just sitting around be mad. Oh, you had a baby. You feel like you can't do nothing but just work. And no, like you can work
There's a lot.
and
Yeah, it's different
yeah, you
avenues
can
of
work
ways.
and still
Yeah.
take steps to generational wealth. That's
Hmm.
all I'm saying. So, conversation, you gotta have drive. And last but not least, don't ever get to the point where you have to rely on me. I don't want to say independence because people don't even know what real independence is.
And
That
only know
wet
how to
boot,
spell it because
boot
of that
that wet
song.
before they go for everybody. Yeah. So a lot of people don't even know what independence really is. I don't like for a woman to rely on me, rely on anybody. Like I stated earlier, I seen my mama work 3 jobs at one point. There's always something that you could do to get your bread, or, you know, don't live your life expecting me to pay the bills, expecting this to happen. Just have some form of independence because a man will value you more if you're really something worth losing. Because there's plenty of females that's ready to come into a stand-up guy's life to, to do whatever, go out of town, be booed up, whatever the case may be. I just want a woman I want to, for you to be my partner, I want to live my life and treat my relationship in a fashion as to where if I lose you, then that's a L, And the only way for a female to actually do that is to really have the first two qualities that I stated embedded in them. Like if you have some type of drive, I'll be here for you. If you need something or if you need help getting something to pursue what you're trying to pursue, I'm here for you, And I hope it's the same with me. Like I want the same reciprocation. If I'm doing something, if I got something going, I want your support. Vice versa. So yeah, those are my main three qualities. If I have to just add a sub factor, you got to actually enjoy having sex. And like I just gotta we gotta keep it real. Like there's nothing worse than a woman that don't like to have sex. Now I'm cool with the timing of having sex. We ain't gotta have sex every day or the things of that nature, but have sex, make the sex worthwhile. Try some shit. Go do some research on what angle can do this. Sex is 90%. I ain't gonna say 90.
Yeah, I was about to say that's kind of high, bro.
I ain't gonna say 90, but it's definitely 70% of the gas that keeps relationships going. Because if your sex is bad and your sex is boring and your sex isn't, there's nothing different to look forward to. Now, I'm not saying get out there and just try some shit every time. Yeah. But on those certain special occasions, you do something different. Make me appreciate or show me that you appreciate what I've been doing. Some along those lines. Just be adventurous with your sex, because sex is a major factor into what keeps a man and really keeps a woman grounded and actually by you on that aspect. Now, the trust and all of that, this basically comes from the personalities, but for the most part, if we're in this, that's a factor that you gotta do. You can't sit up there and expect or think that just because you have a vagina, the sex is gonna be good. No, that's not the case. It's a whole bunch of women out here, and that's a factor. If you're bringing something to the table that's not keeping me or if you're bringing something to the table that's keeping me focused on you, I'm not worried about nothing else that's going on around me. And having good sex will do that for me, will help do that for me. Other things play a factor too, but the little sub factor, you got to include that, because you can't get in and just lay down all the time, bro. No. What about yourself?
So for me, the first thing for me is communication. And it's not like you said, it's not just talking on the phone, texting, stuff like that. When it comes to communication, for me, it's like, don't hold things in without expressing to me how you actually feel. Like if I did something to upset you, let me know. If something's bothering you, don't tell me, oh, I'm okay, oh, I'm fine, or it's nothing. Tell me what it is, even if it has nothing to do with me, because communication is what breaks a lot of relationships. Because one, the partner either doesn't know there's an issue and just lets it go on for so long to the point that it bubbles out of control, and now everything's ruined because you didn't sit down and take the time to let me know something was bothering you. Respect. because that's one of the main things in most of my relationships that I don't garner for some reason. And I think it's because, like I said, I'm too nice. So a lot of the females that I've been attached to feel like they can use that pretty much to step all over me, or think just because I say yes all the time, it's just because I don't have an issue at that, I don't have a lot of issues or a lot of things that hold me back for saying no. I don't just say no just to say no, but I've learned that sometimes you have to say no. So yeah, respect. And the last one for me would have to be drive. If I have a partner that's just as equally motivated, that's going to push me and drive me to want to do better, because me in a relationship, I'm trying to better our lives, not just my life. Especially if I see you as somebody that I can spend my life with, I'm going to push myself to whatever direction. If I have to do it, I'm going to do it to push us into a position where I think will be best for us. Because in a relationship, like you said, we don't just think about ourselves. We think about both of us, because we want to go to the top with you,
A
like,
lot of good men,
yeah.
think, yeah, because a lot of dudes just in it for the other
Yeah,
stuff.
for themselves. Yeah. Yeah, that is true. But like for me, if I'm in a relationship, I'm trying to push us both to the top. And it can't just be me pushing, because some days my arms are gonna give out and I'm gonna need you to hold me up too.
Mhm.
So yeah, those have to be my three. Communication, respect, and drive.
Okay, cool. So let's shift out these females for one little minute. Your favorite sport? What's your favorite sport you like to watch, and favorite sport you like to play?
So my favorite sport is basketball. To both watch and play is
Okay.
basketball. Yeah.
A lot of people got a different thing. Like a lot of people would actually like to play. Like me personally, I would love to play baseball,
Mhm.
but it just takes too much to play baseball.
Yeah.
I would rather, I like hooping too, but I like playing baseball more than playing basketball. But it just takes too much to play baseball. So yeah, I
It
got to
really
play
do.
basketball.
It really do.
So, but yeah, that's what's up. So tell me, who is your favorite basketball player?
So my goat is Tracy McGrady. I remember, shoot, I was maybe 8, 9, maybe 10 years old, watching McGrady with Orlando, from Orlando to Houston. And Houston is when I would say is when I really started watching like basketball more actively. It was when he went to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And that's of course currently, as y'all can see, my favorite team, like we said in the first episode. So, and I just stuck with him. Like Trace McGrady was just one of those hybrids that can jump, dunk, shoot the ball mid range, flashy. Come on now, bro. Like Tracy McGrady was just cold, bro. And like just watching him play, it was just so effortless. And for him to come out of high school doing that to folks, bro, came out the gate like that, bro. Like he was just, yeah. Tracy McGrady is my all-time favorite player. So I just really enjoyed watching him play. I'm kind of upset he didn't get a ring, derailed by injuries, but he was still that dude. So for you, I know you said baseball. So I kind of want to get into that. So who was your favorite baseball player? Like what drew you into baseball?
My favorite, well, what drew me into baseball was actually my my community center in the hood that I'm from.
Mhm.
The guy that ran the community center named Terry Fluker. Shout out to Fluker. He got a lot of kids around the neighborhood, and we played baseball. We played basketball. It was like a community center league, basically.
Mhm.
And they did it with all sports. And baseball was the one that got me out because that's the only one that I had enough skill to play at the time. I
Yeah.
couldn't play basketball because I was super fat. And I really didn't like I never liked football, like ever. I like playing football, yes, but I never liked to watch football or any of it. Well,
Yeah.
not anymore. I used to, but it's been too much it's too much. NFL is too politically driven. You know, it's the bets and the
I mean, that's all sports
everybody.
now.
It's all sports now, but it was football first.
Yeah, it was. You're right.
This basically it. So, but yeah, so my favorite, and that's what basically got me driven to play baseball because I used to do it every other summer. Every summer, really, till from the age of, I think from like 9 to maybe about 13 or 14. About 4 or 5 years. So 4 or 5 summers straight, I played number baseball. And that's what got me into baseball. And my favorite baseball player of all time, I probably have to say Alex Rodriguez. And
New
there's
York.
that's basically from, okay, so it's Alex Rodriguez, but I'm gonna just keep it a book.
That's all right. It's Alex Rodriguez, bro. It's Alex Rodriguez.
Alex Rodriguez, but Randy Johnson is the player that made me watch baseball.
Oh, watch
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Like I love baseball, but I cannot watch it to save my life.
Nah, baseball is boring to watch. I've always said,
it's so boring to watch, but it just takes too much to do it. You got to get 9 cohesive people to come to a place with bats and a ball, pause, and and y'all just gotta, it takes too much. It takes too much to play baseball recreational. You gotta be in a league or something to play baseball. So
and it's expensive. So
hell yeah. So
yeah. So now on to the better sport, basketball, because I know that's your second love.
Yeah.
So what drew you into basketball? Like what player, what like moment in time, probably like what drew you to basketball?
What drew me to playing basketball? So the player was Michael Redd. Michael Redd was
on the Bucks. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Michael Redd was the guy that made me interested into watching basketball. A lot of people don't know, but the reason why Future 22J is Future 22J is because when I made that email back when I was about 9 or 10, 11, 12. No, I think I was like maybe 12, 13, 14. When I made that email, it was Future 22J. I said that I was going to be the next Michael Redd. So that's why it's Future 22J. Yeah. So Michael Redd was really that dude that gave my attention, that engaged me into basketball. But my all-time favorite player is Tracy McGrady as well.
Yes,
now, once I grew up and once I started understanding the dynamic behind basketball and knowing who cold and who not in the league, yeah, T-Mac was that dude.
T-Mac was that dude.
He definitely was, and yeah, I fuck with T-Mac.
Yeah. So the audience, if y'all haven't noticed, like a lot of our similarities is how we became friends. Two different spectrums of the doggone world. And when it comes to sports, music, like that's what made me and this dude, close, our relationship close. So we're gonna give y'all two different lists right now. So the first one, Maul, if you want to go first, we're gonna go with the favorites first. All-time top 5 positions. Not all time. This is your favorite players that you like personally.
So my top 5 personal favorite players. At the point guard, I'm have to say Trae Young. I like Trigger Trae. I've been a Trae Young fan for a long time. I like Trae Young, and the only reason why I like Trae Young so much is he's so small, but his drive, and you could tell that he is not scared of anybody. Like the adversity that he takes, like when he in Madison Square Garden and all that, for him to be able to take that type of pressure and still be able to play as effectively as he is, I like dude. Like I fuck with Trey. Number two at the two guard, I have to go with Michael Redd. I if it
Hey.
wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have known what basketball was. Well, I probably would have because I'm a human being, but it's still he was the guy that triggered my interest into what basketball was. So I cannot have an all-time favorite two guard
without Michael Redd. Yeah.
Without mentioning Michael Redd. Like it's been plenty of greats that's better than him and that came after him, but
yeah,
I gotta give him his respect off the strength of this. He's the reason why I started watching basketball.
Gotcha.
At the three, I'm gonna put my boy T-Mac there. I can't have no personal all-time favorite list without having T-Mac in there as well. That's my boy. I remember so many of his highlights and so much of his accolades I witnessed. And with me being a fan, it was just that much more great to see. Yeah, I definitely didn't like how his career ended, but you know, everybody, even the NBA players themselves, say that you never have a set time or set walk away from the NBA. It's just sometimes it just happens. Now with the fourth position, I'm gonna have to go with my boy Amari Stoudemire. Now, Amari Stoudemire was a dog back in Phoenix, boy. Like,
oh no, yeah, he was.
For him
with
to
Steve
be
Nash too. Whew.
Yes, like I like the fact that he was kind of at the time he was undersized for because back then in the NBA everybody felt like you needed 2 7-footers at the 4 and the 5. But
everybody was trying to stop Shaq at that time.
Yeah. So he really revolutionized their 4 position. KG did too. A lot of others did, but I liked that he was explosive. He didn't care how tall you was, how much bigger, how much taller you were. He was going to dunk on you. I liked that about him. I really liked that about him. I kind of hate that he didn't really excel in New York. Like that's when he got that eye injury when he was playing in New York. Like I really hate that for him because it kind of was the start of
the decline.
him not being the player that he was.
Yeah.
And at the 5, I have to go with Dwight Howard. Now
that's okay.
I have to go with Dwight Howard because dude was a demon back in 09 at Orlando.
Orlando Magic.
Yeah, dog. Like
him, Hito, was it Rashard?
Raymond, yes, Rashard. Jason Richardson was there. Like it was
JJ Redick was on that team too.
Like it's a lot. Them folks had some hoopers and they almost got it done for real. If it wasn't, I hate
if it wasn't for that man.
It was that dude. But I have to say it's Dwight Howard because he was the closest thing to Shaq that we have ever seen. Now, Shaq was Shaq. Now, everybody like to see Shaq. I love to watch Shaq highlights myself. I love Shaq. But Dwight Howard, I like the fact that Dwight Howard probably, now I'm not quoted on this, but I think Dwight Howard was probably dubbed the best player, not just a big man. People was calling him the best player in the league at one point.
At one point, yeah.
Yeah, and that's hard to do. Like it was literally like Kobe, LeBron, Dwight Howard at one point. Those were the best 3 players in the NBA. And I admired it about Dwight Howard for doing it at the center position. Because you got to be some type of dominant to be able to influence a game like the way that you did, especially defensively as well.
Yeah.
Like he was swatting shit. The man literally had to control his blocks. Like he purposely Instead of slapping it out of bounds, sometimes he would purposely just tap the ball because he knew that he was going to block it just to keep it in bounds so that they could get down. It's things like that just stands out now. All the extra stuff that's going on with dude, that's him.
That's his business. Yeah, that's his business.
He said it best. But from a basketball standpoint, I don't like the fact that he hasn't gotten the recognition that he deserved.
Yeah, it's a couple
for the time that he was, for the time that
Yeah.
he was in the league. For the time that he was in his prime. He was basically taking advantage of his entire time while he was in the league, really.
Yeah.
His entire time he was in the league. And
folks really disrespect. The man is a champion, bro. Like,
yeah.
He got a ring.
He was a key part of the reason why they won the championship.
Yeah. If it wasn't for them, Jokic running all over them. Yeah, he kept Jokic in check. And I was surprised when they got rid of him.
Oh yeah, another thing about Dwight Howard too. I never in my life wanted to wear an NBA sleeve before.
Yeah, he used to wear that.
He used to wear the little sleeve that had the metal, the little shiny part going.
Yeah, bro.
And
then they started making the ones that was like on the back and everything.
Yeah, man. I swear that now AI he did his thing, but I didn't care about wearing a basketball sleeve on my arm until I seen Dwight Howard and then he used to come out with the blue just the master.
The blue ones, yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Stop playing. But yeah. So that's my top 5. What about yourself?
All right. So at the 1, as much as I don't like this team, number 1 is Curry. It's Curry for me, bro. Like, just watching him, nonstop motor. Nonstop. And to see a player do that game in, game out, bro, like he barely missed other than like his rookie season for the first 2 seasons where he was always having ankle injuries. But other than that, this man does this every game where he does not stop at all and will pull from the doggone parking lot and cash. Won't even see it go in. Dude, like just shoot that thing from anywhere, bro. So yeah, Curry is probably one of my favorite point guards to watch. At the 2, you had him at the 3, but I put him at the 2. T-Mac, because he was one of those guard forward positions. So I put him at the 2. And I'm not even going to go more into T-Mac because I feel like I talked about him enough and explain why he's my number, like he's my favorite player. I'd be wrong not to have him on my list. At the 3, I got Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is one of the most efficient scorers that I have seen, that I've grown up to watch. I didn't watch Kobe like that. I didn't watch Jordan like that. I wasn't even old enough to know that type of stuff. So KD, when it comes to his efficiency in this league, is crazy, bro. Like from the I'm a mid-range type person, and I feel like the mid-range is dead. But the way he can pull up, and people think he take like 6, 7 threes. He don't even take that many threes. And it's still putting up 30 pieces on folks' head, bro. This man to take 2 threes, and you'll look, and he got 35 off of 2 threes, and everything else is just creating shots off pick and pops, all that. Like just the way that he plays as a 7-footer is crazy. KD at the 3. At the 4, I got KG Garnett, because Garnett's passion for the game of basketball is
next level.
Is next level, and it's like intoxicating. Like, like it make you'll hear this man talk. Like even watching his podcast, that makes you want to go out there and go play basketball right now and do something crazy, bro. Like. It's just like his drive and his passion for the game is just unmatched. And you don't really see that a lot now, especially with these whack ass refs that they got. So, but not yet. KG, and just him same way, like the versatility, his grit, grind, defense. And you know me, I'm a defensive person too. I love good defense. His defense, he was locked down. Can shoot the mid-range, all that. And then at the 5, I got Shaq, because just the dominance. Just honestly, all I can say is just the dominance. Watching his highlights, and you said it too. Like, who does not like watching Shaq highlights?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Shaq is one of, even though I'm not built like Shaq, but most of my life I played the 5 position and tried to move like Shaq, tried to be dominant, tried to be um as forceful and strength, tried to power my way through folks, like Shaq did. But even like I said, I'm nowhere near Shaq's stature. But hey, bro, you watch somebody so long and kind of mimic the way that they play. So I wasn't as efficient as he was doing it, but not yeah. Shaq had to be is my favorite center to watch.
That's what's up. So, give me your top 5 all time.
All right. So at the 1, I got Magic. I was going back and forth between him and Isaiah Thomas. Magic, to me, just the way he facilitates that ball and just made it seem so easy, going full speed and just passing diamond. He wasn't, I won't say he wasn't a scorer because he could score, but Magic was just so different. We had never, well, I can't say we, no one had never seen a point guard like him. And for him to take that Laker team from nothing to something in such little time, you got to respect that. I got Jordan. And this was another one, like this all-time one was kind of tough for me because the 1 and the 2 was like, because I could have went Kobe, could have, but I think Jordan, because Jordan changed the game as well. Both of the players at my 1 and 2 pretty much changed the game.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, from the high flying, he's not his airness for nothing. The man was doing stuff that was bonkers. And for just Jordan's drive too, like that winning mentality. And that's another reason why I picked Jordan, because Kobe got it from Jordan. He got that
Mm-hmm.
mentality from Jordan. So without no Jordan, we probably wouldn't have a Kobe. So and at the 3, I got LeBron. What more do I need to say?
Nothing. Because he
What more
mine
do
too.
I yeah, like what more do we have to say about LeBron? As much you could hate him, you could love him, you could say whatever you want about LeBron. LeBron has proved everyone wrong. Has
Mm-hmm.
proved everyone that he is supposed to be up there with the top 5 greats. He's supposed to be mentioned with the Kobe's, the Shaqs, the Jordans, the Magic. He's supposed to be mentioned with them. And he cemented his name just last year by getting the scoring title, the scoring record, I mean.
Yeah, scoring
So,
record.
and to still be going that strong at what, 38?
Yeah, he
Like,
did do.
yeah. So at 38, still doing that. So at number 4, I got Tim Duncan. That's the fundamental. I like it's something about Tim Duncan. As much and it's crazy because he's the polar opposite of KG, but it's something about how fundamentally sound Tim Duncan was and made it look so easy.
Mm-hmm.
Like the things he was doing it wasn't flashy, it wasn't anything. The man was just out there
But a
getting
bucket.
yeah, that man was just a bucket, bro. Like so he's my number 4. And number 5, I stayed the same. It's still Shaq.
Okay. Well, yeah, my top 5 basically pretty much mimic. Well, at the point guard, I gotta go Steph Curry. It ain't
Okay.
no there isn't a player. The whole game of basketball, the dynamic of basketball, everything revolving around basketball has changed because
Mm-hmm.
of Steph Curry. It's
Yeah.
when you can influence a worldwide sport the way that you did, in the way that you did, you gotta be the best ever.
Yeah. Curry got
AI
everybody
did.
thinking they
He
can
had
do
AI. He had the culture. Yeah, he did it culturally, but Steph did it on the court. Like with the game. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
I would say Iverson did too, because like Iverson had everybody thinking they could dribble like Iverson. Culturally, I mean, like worldwide, everybody was trying to dribble like
I
Allen
feel
Iverson.
it, yeah, but it's different. Okay, so this is what I'm saying, was what I'm trying to say, because I ain't saying nothing. There are people that can dribble like Allen Iverson.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Allen Iverson had it, it's people out here, especially now that his time has went on. There
Mm-hmm.
are some people that probably handle the ball better than Allen Iverson.
There,
I know
there.
one in
I know
particular
one right now.
myself. Yeah,
Yeah,
one right now.
right now.
So drip, as far as that, yeah, Allen Iverson had it. The culture, yeah, Allen Iverson had it. His will to win, his drive, like, yes, Allen Iverson, he's a great. Don't get me wrong, but I admire Steph Curry one from coming from a unknown school, college wise.
Davidson. Yep.
Davidson getting on a team that was really, honestly, nobody was talking about the Golden State Warriors until the I Believe team with Steven Jackson.
Yep.
No, like nobody cared anything about Golden State Warriors at all until that team, and then that's when Steph came, and that's when he did what he did is because of Steph. And lastly, I like what Steph did to the game as far as, like I said, the whole game of basketball. Like, people are drawing up plays for a three.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
kids walking around here just jacking up
Just
threes.
shooting up anything.
These like people revolutionize basketball moves based off of the three.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, Jay. I still feel like Jay Harden invented the step back three, but you can still make an argument as to the influence that Steph had. People are inventing step backs for threes, spin moves for
Yeah.
threes. Steph Curry, it
Everything.
seems like he invented the fucking three. So I gotta go with Steph on it. And
Yeah.
with the two, I have Jordan. Nothing more needs to be said because you have him there as well. At the three, I have LeBron. Nothing needs to be said. You have him there as well.
Yep.
At the four, my all-time greatest four. I guess I could say Tim Duncan. I'm not a big fan of Tim Duncan. I would like to put Dirk there, but I know Dirk doesn't have quite the similar success of Tim Duncan. So I'll really be a hater if I said Dirk instead of Tim Duncan.
I mean, this is
But
your all-time list, bro. Yeah.
yeah, but Tim Duncan, I still can't not.
Yeah, because I'm a Dirk fan myself, so like,
I like Dirk. I like Dirk. I think if I have to say anybody revolutionized the position, it was probably Dirk. He revolutionized this stretch four.
being the stretch four, yeah,
It being the main player on the team.
yeah.
Like, come on, dude. Like,
And we've
I
been
like,
playing 2K for years, so that's who pretty much.
yeah, I fuck with
I
Dirk.
was pretty much the first. I would say, not to toot my own horn, the first stretch in 2K, and it was solely off of me wanting to be like Tim Duncan, being able to spread the floor for y'all. So, and that was like what 2K12. So
yeah, that was a while back. And at the five, I got Shaq. So
yeah,
the Shaq, he's still dominant. He's an all time. He's the greatest center I've ever seen. But my personal, I really used to like watching Dwight Howard.
yeah,
Everyone was dunking on
that he was dunking on everybody.
everybody. So let's switch things up a little bit. Let's get into music. So first off, we had, I want to say, a deluxe edition of Drake's recent album that we talked about on the first episode, For All the Dogs. He came out with the Scary Hours edition of For All the Dogs. So with it being what it's been like maybe 2 weeks since the album
About 2
dropped.
weeks.
Yeah. With 2 weeks going by and you been listening, what is your take on it? First, I want to say, I would like to know what's your take on it, and then of course, out of the what, the 5 or 6 tracks, which one was your favorite?
This is what For All the Dogs should have sounded like in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
When he announced the title, I'm about to say Drake about to be in his bag. He about to be in his bag. Even though I like For All the Dogs, I was still left a little disappointed. And when he dropped Scary Hours 3, I was flabbergasted. As Stephen A. Smith would say. I was like, bro, like this in 5 tracks, you gave me a dog feeling. Like you wasn't holding no bars back. You went straight from the first track, you went straight in. But not yet. So stories about my brother, like the way he was going in on that one, bro. Like I'm like, man, that and Red Button. But stories about my brother is probably my favorite song on the Scary Hours edition. But Drake was really in his bag for that 5-piece chicken dinner right there that he served us. And I was like, man, if For All the Dogs had came out sounding like this, like quite honestly, them first 5 tracks should have been the first 5 tracks on the album. You know, Scrub It, you know, some of them sing-songy ones, you know, leave a couple of them. But because you know, like I said, I tried Our Best was my favorite song on the original. But yeah, like Scary Hours is what I expected. And I think I listened to Scary Hours 3 more than I listened to For All the Dogs. But nah, yeah, he did his thing with that one. So what's your take on it?
This is probably the first project from Drake that I honestly wasn't even interested in listening to.
Mm.
That's how bad the initial album was. Like I I didn't have any excitement wanting to listen to it, but once I did listen to it, I was thoroughly satisfied. But
Mm.
like I stated in the previous episode, I knew that it wasn't this was more that was more so of a test run for Drake. You know, seeing what different audience that he could reach out to, like he did with the what was the other album that he dropped that had the kind of reggae dancing music on it and shit. What was the name of that one?
More Life?
Was it More Life?
Yeah, it was More Life.
Okay, so I think that's what For All the Dogs was. Now he just did it with a lot of artists that he knew that was, you know, that'll do what they do. So business
Mhm.
aspect, it was a from a business side For All the Dogs was decent because he knew what to do. He knew who to put on there, Lil Yachty, Six Red, all of everyone that's basically has a significant fan base. He put them on that album.
You put that slog yeet on there, but
Yeah, hey, all on everybody. Everybody on this track has a very significant following, and I don't mean it like they have a lot of fans. Like they are like in the millions, have millions
yeah.
of followers. Every soul that was on that track got at least 3 million followers. Or wait, I think Sexy Red maybe just hit 2, but still, she just got on the scene damn near 2 years ago. So 2 million,
Not even 2 years ago.
yeah, though getting 2 million that fast is still something. She's gonna be up there in a couple of years. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
I understand it from a business standpoint. So off of that, my favorite track, of course, was Evil Twin with Drake and J. Cole.
So out of
You
the
know,
two, so to me personally, I thought that was one of the weaker tracks on there.
see, and I'm gonna tell you why it's my favorite track. Because the things that they did on that album is something that I haven't heard in so long.
This
I
is true. The back
love
and forth.
the back and forth. I
Mm.
heard the back and forth. That was cool, but I like how they managed to keep the same rhyme scheme and the same cadence through the
Oh
entire
yeah.
song. Like
Mhm.
they all rhyme. They rhymed evil ways throughout. They rhymed with evil ways throughout the entire song.
Yeah.
And that shit was just dope as hell to me. So when you get back, and I'm not sure how often, since you said it was the weaker track, I'm pretty sure you didn't listen to it as much. But bro, just go back and play that song and listen to the last 2 to 3 words at the end of every bar that
Mhm.
J. Cole and Drake put together to rhyme with Evil Ways. That shit was different.
That's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it because I said I was talking to one of my friends at work, and we was talking about it, and I told him I like First Person Shooter more than this song. But I think he brought up the same thing that you're saying, like the fact that, you know, just the back and forth and the fact that they rhymed Evil Ways throughout the whole track. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it. I'm gonna have to go back and listen
beautiful.
to
it. That was probably one of the, how can I say, the most nostalgic songs brought back in 2003. I mean 2023 that I've ever heard, and it's even better for me because it's two of my favorite artists ever. Like this is going to be a legendary song for real, and it's just because of, you know, you got to understand rap from this aspect. Now, if you don't like rhyme, if you don't like bars, that's cool. You're not gonna like the track. But if you like bars, if you like how rappers will use their rhymes, use their words to make, because J. Cole, I ain't gonna J. Cole flushed Drake on that motherfucker. I ain't gonna even lie.
on both times.
Both times.
Both times.
But Drake did his thing though.
He held his own on this one. Yeah.
I caught a lot of reminiscent Drake from that track as well. That's why I liked it so much, because I just miss those young Drake days, man. Dudes with them features, like the features that he did on Dedication 3, and just, you know, all of the songs. I can't even think of in nothing in particular. I know they went crazy on that. Damn, what's the name of this song? What was this song? Hello, motherfucker. Hey, hi, how you doing? Is Weezy F,
baby, trying to take a shit?
Yeah, Drake verse on that song. He did his thing on that. No, I take that back. Oh, huh?
Was that Ransom?
It is Ransom. No, that's not Ransom.
I'm so official. All I need is a whistle. I made a blow my whistle. I'm going in.
I'm going in. Okay. So I'm not talking about I'm going in. I'm thinking about Stun. Stun. That was on Dedication 3. That is the all-time greatest Drake feature ever to me.
His best feature?
Best feature when he was young Drake. Like, not when he became the mogul. I'm talking about YMCMB Drake, when he had the little raspy voice and he was just rapping. That's his best verse from back then. Now, of course, songs, ain't no telling what's his first song. We dedicate a whole episode based on that.
We can do that some other,
But yeah, so that was my take on the Scary Hours. It was just, you know, I'm not gonna say that it was bad, but I'm just ready for the next project. I think it's because it's affiliated with the album. That's what makes it don't even make me want to look at it no more. Like, I'm just ready for the next project.
Because it wasn't, he has that attached to For All the Dogs. It's not a solo, like you have to go to For All the Dogs, Scary Hours.
But I guarantee you, the next album might be the greatest project Drake ever do, because he definitely trying to pass Mike, bro. He
already passed. I think he already passed Mike.
He's tired. He's tired.
Okay.
He's going to pass. He's going to try to pass.
No, he's going to pass Mike. It's inevitable, bro. Like, it's Drake. He can put out a thing of him just breathing on it, and that's what's going to get him past Mike, bro.
I don't think so. This album kind of diminished it.
I think so? I don't know. I've heard more. I mean, of course, I've seen more negative reviews, but I've heard more positive reviews for the album. But I'm not sure if it's, well, I guess I got to think age group too. Within our age group, folks were not satisfied with this album. But that younger generation, they love this album. They love the features, and like that song with Sexy Red and SZA is being played 24/7. Folks think that song with Yeet is the best thing ever. It's an age thing too. Like, we grew up on Drake, so we know what we want or what we expect from a Drake album.
Mm-hmm.
Drake has found a way to maintain relevancy by attaching himself to these younger artists that have these humongous fan bases.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of tough. And that's why I'm saying with Drake, he's been able to hold on to how big he is, pause, from his name. Like he's like a vampire, bro. Like he don't age. He hasn't he hasn't aged.
I feel that, but I know, of course, he's going to pass Mike. Like, we know that's going to happen. But for what I'm saying is his mentality for this next album, he needs to pass Mike. So I think that's just going to put his effort in it that much more.
I
Like,
would like I said, I hope so too.
he bring,
I
man, I'm
hope he did.
telling you, dog, he bringing out. First of all, he need to stop playing and bring out the original formula that makes an album great. Put Young Thug on there. We need a Travis Scott track, a decent Travis Scott track, not, you know, nothing out the normal.
Yeah,
We
nothing
need a
experimental.
we need another anthem. Like, we need another Sicko Mode.
We need another track with Wayne, another anthem with Wayne too. Like
We
gotta get.
need another. He need to put Lil Wayne on his album. He need to put
Honestly,
Nicki
they just
Minaj.
need to get the whole. They need just get the Trinity. He need the Trinity on there. He need to get Nicki and Wayne on there. He gonna have to get Nicki and Wayne on there.
Get Nicki and Wayne. He might do that. Nicki Wayne, Travis Scott, Future, Young Thug. Throw Big X the plug in there. You straight, dog. You straight, but I mean, he's still gonna get it nonetheless. But I just, as a creator, myself personally, if I was in Drake's position, I would make this my greatest album ever and just walk away from the game. Because there's nothing else need to be proven. Like, I
That he needs to
already
do.
I have more number one hit albums ever. Like, he already about to be solidified. Well, he's already solidified, but he's really going to be solidified after that, because nobody thought in a million years that they'll catch Michael Jackson, and we're witnessing this before our eyes
in real
Like,
time.
we're witnessing a lot of shit, like a lot of monumental things going on in this world during this time, as far as, sports, music, a lot of stuff. So yeah, dog, there should be Drake. There should be Drake mindset, but you might throw out a reggae album. Speaking of Wayne, my boy and 2 Chainz dropped the album called Colligrove 2. So Colligrove 2 released, and me being an adamant Wayne fan and a 2 Chainz fan, because I was messaging 2 Chainz on Instagram. I know he wasn't even probably seeing it, but I hit him up a couple of times, like, bro, we need you, bro. Like, I like how 2 Chainz have made me become a fan. He's probably the only artist that made me become a fan of his.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like 2 Chainz, and he stay in this lane. He do what he do, but he makes some good music. Yeah, he different.
Yeah,
That's what made me like him. So, what is your take on the Colligrove 2 album?
Colligrove 2 is better than Colligrove 1. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. They sounded like they had a whole different kind of hunger on this one. That first one sounded like they were just like, just throw something together. Let's do it. Everybody collaborate, and let's collaborate real quick for something. But this one right here, bro, from start to finish. And like I said, them having 50 narrated was genius. To hear his voice on that, I was like, bro, this is smart. It was a smart move right there. And then just the bars, like, you can't even say Wayne carried. 2 Chainz was rapping his ass off too on this one. They both was just straight up rapping. The song bars, Shame, the way that they kind of took ODB, kind of, shame on a nigga that make you one game. Yeah, like that. That whole thing, that those are my 2 favorite songs off this album. And then, but my favorite song on there is probably Oprah and Gail. First listen, that was my favorite song on there. But but yeah, no, I was highly satisfied with this album, and this had more burn than Drake album had first week for me. So I'm so, so yeah, this was a solid project. Um, and like truly enjoyed it. Like just their versatility and Wayne being Wayne, just saying things, and you were like, bro, like who thinks of things like that, bro? Like,
Mhm.
yeah. So what's your thoughts on it?
Well, I like it. I enjoyed it. It was a solid album. But the thing with Two Chainz and Wayne that bothered me throughout this whole album is that they're so unique in their like individually, they're so unique.
Mm,
It was kind of hard for me to get into a lot of their songs for real. In
mm,
when it comes in regards of what they were bringing, because there were some tracks where Wayne probably should have came in a different way than he really did. Now I know Wayne can do it because it's Wayne, but he jumped in a whole different way. Like I want to say
mm.
it's the track with Rick Ross on it.
Okay, towards the end of the album, yeah.
Yes, that song was so dope. It was smooth. Two Chainz did his thing.
Rick
Ross
Ross,
did his thing.
yeah.
And then when Wayne get on, I'm like, no, dog. You gotta flow on it thing. And I know Wayne can do it
Yeah, he
because
can do it.
he
Yeah.
got songs like Pussy Money Weed and shit like that. So
Mhm.
I know he can do it. And that was probably the only negative thing that I have when it comes down to the album. I kind of felt like that on certain songs at certain points, Wayne and Two Chainz, because there's a couple of tracks where Two Chainz should have rapped in a different fashion that I know that he can do, if
Mhm.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
And it just somewhat threw off the song sometimes. But at
yeah.
the end of the day, when it comes down to just bars and just enjoying the music, yeah, I like it. It
It
was
was
very
there.
solid. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very solid. But the Ross track disappointed me though. Cause
Yeah.
it was so good, like it's so bumping in the first two verses, and then Wayne get on, he still ran it. Don't get me wrong, it ain't like he trashed it, but
Yeah.
his delivery on the verse was kind of, you
He
know,
didn't have to he had to speed it up like what he
yeah.
set
And
up
I
in the
kind
verse.
of think, that's what's been taken away from a lot of Wayne newer music to me, because
It's been a da 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 like he's been
yeah, like
yeah.
sometimes you ain't got to do all that, bro. Like you
He's
have
trying
been
to
one of
pack
the
so much in that is
You don't
kinda
have to,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah, he
You
don't
you
have
don't have like you have nothing else to prove, bro. At this point in life,
yeah.
like we know you, bro. We fuck with you
Dead
tough.
ass. Yeah.
You ain't gotta try to bring back. I know people were saying he fell off and all that other type of shit, and I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't think Wayne would be a human being if he hasn't let that shit bother him in some way, especially with him being at the
Mhm.
top for so
And I
long.
think that's the Wayne that we getting now.
Yeah, like he was trying too hard to try to get people, bro. You ain't got to do none of that, bro.
Mm-mm.
Like your
Yeah,
skill
now
set is
we
so
yeah.
next level.
Yeah, we getting that
So,
Wayne now. We getting that Wayne where he's like, you know what? Because at first he wasn't, he wouldn't brag and boast really like that. But now he's letting you know, I am the best at this. Other than
mhm.
when he had his run, the best rapper alive, stuff like that. But he was a little bit more subtle with it back then. But now he letting you know, I am the best.
Yeah. So to my viewers, if you guys are still with us after this long of a time, if you enjoy the content, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and also drop a like on this video. And a lot of things that goes on in revolving around music around this time of year is a lot of artists and a lot of streaming companies like to reflect on the numbers that the numbers that certain artists accumulated over the course of the year. And Apple, with Apple Music, they, in my opinion, are the best when it comes down to that, because they break down your artists, your top 10 or 15 artists, your top 10 or 15 songs. It gives you how many minutes you played for each artist. Like, Apple has an option that's normally open around this time of the year for you guys to access it. Now, the site that you will need to access this on is replay.music.apple.com. You type that in, search it up. It'll take you straight to it. You do your face scan to get access to your personal profile, and it gives you all the information from there. And with other iOS users, under your Listen Now tab, they'll have it in your music app as well. So if you don't want to type it in on this browser, you can do it like that as well. So I kind of want to get into that because I kind of like the statistic, and it gives you a reflection of your music taste and your music interests that you have for the duration of that year. So I'm going to give my top. I'm going to give my top 10, and then Trey, I want you to give yours.
Okay.
So at number 10, I have Moneybagg Yo. Moneybagg Yo is at this point my favorite artist out of Memphis, Tennessee. I like his progression. I've been a fan of him since he was making the underground mixtape. So to see where he's at now, especially with his music, because his music has gotten significantly better from it was back then. So definitely shout out to Moneybagg. Number 9 for me is Roddy Ricch. I love me some Roddy Ricch. Roddy Ricch got some dope music. 8 is Lil Uzi Vert. I love me some Uzi. I was listening back to the Love Is Rage, the older Uzi. I just became gravitated. Nowadays it's kind of but hey, he did it for me. Like I like Uzi. Number 7 is Young Thug. No need to say free Young Thug. That's what I need to say. Free Young Thug ASAP, because my boy, we need him back on the streets. Number 6 is Metro Boomin. Number 5, I have Gunna. Number 4, I have Travis Scott. Number 3, I have 21 Savage. Number 2, I have Future. And then number 1, I have Drake. Now, I have
doing
to.
that high as nasty work with your toxic mind.
Now, I ain't gonna lie. I have to say that I have to throw in an honorable mention because I don't really take Metro Boomin as an artist. Metro Boomin just made a lot of songs with Drake, Future, 21 Savage, and Travis Scott. So that
He like
kind of
DJ.
what propelled him. Yeah, that
Yeah.
what propelled him in my list. But my number 11 was Gucci Mane. And I'm just gonna have to sub him for Metro Boomin because I like Gucci too. So, and I listened to a lot of Gucci, and I didn't know I did until you know.
Bro, you
I
from Memphis?
looked
You
at
know
my
you
list.
listen to a lot of. You listen to a lot of
No, because no lie, I cannot lie. Like Gucci, Gucci's on this list because of his artists. Like I listen to Big Scar,
Okay.
Pooh Shiesty, Big Walk Dog more
They walked
than
out.
any piece of Gucci. Now I still will listen to Gucci when he drops something because his last album was really low key underrated. Nobody talking about it, nobody saying anything about it. But I really liked his last project. But yeah, I rock with Gucci, but I listen to his artists more now anyway. But Gucci still Gucci. He solidified.
So
So
my top
give
10
me your
list.
top 10 on your Apple Music.
My top 10 coming in number 10 was Ab-Soul. If y'all don't know who Ab-Soul is, y'all need to get up on some Ab-Soul. Probably the most lyrical one out of TDE. And I'm a big Kendrick fan, but he was the most lyrical out of all of them. So Ab-Soul came in at number 10. At number 9, I had Young Thug. Number 8 was Gunna. At 7, Wale. 6, Lupe. 5, J. Cole. 4, Kanye. 808s and Graduation stay in heavy rotation. Anything past that, you might get some burn, but nah, 808s and Graduation are my favorite Kanye albums. 3, Drake. Number 2, Wayne. And number 1, none other, Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent top 10. I think our top 10s kind of define our personalities in so many.
Yeah, it do. Well, Thug and Gunna on there let you know it was a different type of year for me this year. Because Gunna would not have been on my list this time last year. But that album you just dropped, bro.
That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. That's dope. I like it. That's funny. So we're gonna have the link to this site in the description section below. You guys click on that and share it in the comment section below. Give us your top 10 artists that you have in heavy rotation. And also in the comment section below, let us know what you think about each one of our top 10 lists. We have finally come to the last segment of our episode, which is a segment that we plan on implementing every episode because one, it'll give me an insight as to what Trey is listening to. It'll give Trey an insight to what I'm listening to, but also it'll give you guys something to want to listen to if you are interested in what we want to listen to. You see how that works? So we just calling this Put You On Game. And it's basically self-explanatory. Every episode, we're going to give 2 tracks for the other person to listen to. And then on the upcoming episode, we're going to give our feedback to the tracks. So you got your 2 songs for me?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. Let me get my pen. I just had it. All right.
So the first track is from Schoolboy Q's 2012 release of Habits and Contradictions. The song is called Blessed. And so I tried to find it on iTunes. You're not going to find it on iTunes, but if you got like Spotify or something like that, you'll find it. I think it was like some clearance issue that it didn't make it on the iTunes version for some reason. But yeah, the first track is Blessed by Schoolboy Q. And then the second song is off of Joe's 2009 release Signature. And the song is called Magic. Joe Thomas, baby. Joe Thomas. Yes, sir. I'm giving you, I'm gonna try my best to always give y'all one hip hop and one R&B track because that's primarily what I listen to. And I might sprinkle a little jazz in there every now and again. But yeah, the second song is by Joe called Magic with a J. So it's Majic.
Okay.
Us black people, we can't ever spell anything the right way. So
look, I was sitting up here like, damn, ain't that how Magic spelled already?
No.
I'm like, you talking about with a J? Ain't it always? I had to think. Okay.
But all right, brother, what's your 2 for me?
So my 2 tracks are coming from an artist named Aaron May. Have you heard of him?
I think you mentioned him before to me. I just ain't never really.
Okay, well,
yeah.
Aaron May is my artist. Both of these songs are from him. And the reason why I'm choosing Aaron May, and I really think that you will like Aaron May, is because he is so smooth when he rap. He got that kind of, in all honesty, he remind me of a small of a young J. Cole.
Okay.
If you were a fan of, now lyrically, he's not there. But if you remembrance of a lot of J. Cole older tracks that was just kind of on the smooth side, I can't think of one off the top, but like on Friday Night Lights and things like that.
Simba, type.
Yeah. Okay. So the 2 tracks from him is called Time, and the second track is called Where I'm From. So the Where I'm From is under the EP tab. Okay. But the Time track is off of his last album called No Recognition. and it's the first thing you're going to see. Is soon, like it released in 2022 last year, so
Okay.
it's the first one you're going to see. But yeah, Time and Where I'm From Aaron May, that boy bumping. I really hope he take off in this industry. He just maybe hit the same, maybe 2019 or something. He haven't been rapping that long, but for him to not be rapping this long, the potential that he has is on a new level, bro. And I really think you will enjoy him for real. He
Nice. Very
dope.
less.
In the comment section below, you guys let us know what other tracks that you think that we haven't heard or we would probably like to listen to. Let it know down below. We're trying to make this an all inclusive podcast. We're going to try to get a lot of input and a lot of interaction from you guys as well. You're not going to just be sitting here and hearing us talk for so many hours. We want to get feedback from you guys as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. We've come to the end of the episode. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you share, and make sure you drop a like on this video. Hit that notification bell so that you can know whenever we drop a video. This was Too Tall Talks with your boy Trey and Jay. I'm Jay. That's your boy Trey. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you on the next episode.
We out.
We out.